Sons of Liberty's always been known for hyper reliable rifles. You know, like the Mark I project, you know, like forced us to really learn, adopt, and like make it lighter, more shootable, you know, more operate in even weirder conditions and environments, blah, blah. Ultimately, all of that is never at the expense of reliability.
One of the statements that Mike makes quite frequently, and I won't use the actual words.
You can cuss on this show if you need to.
Well, it's the fucking thing has to work.
Yeah,
right.
No, you're right.
And everybody believes that at the company, and they build the rifles that way.
Yeah.
Like first and foremost, this has to work all the time.
Yeah, right? Not most of the time.
Yeah, we got 80%.
Even currently, right now, the fastest growing demographic of gun owners are people that have historically been anti-gun. Mm-hmm. So whenever like COVID happened and they thought that there was going to be a huge decrease in emergency services, and you know, like they wanted to defend their toilet paper roll, I was the only gun guy they knew, and so they're like, Mike, when I want to buy a gun, and like no one asked me for the gun that held the least amount of bullets. like no.
When it comes down to survivability, like you want to survive, you want to live, you want to take care of your family. Oh. It's amazing where they'll cross over party lines, or they'll
100%.
Or like you said, they're like, hey, they're like trying to whisper to you, I want to buy a gun, because it's like there's some kind of shame to it. But that was not going on here in Texas.
Welcome to the TTPOA Podcast, a podcast for SWAT officers, military, and all first responders. We'll be talking training, tactics, and leadership with the best subject matter experts around.
Well, howdy, folks. Welcome to another edition of the TTPOA Podcast. We're coming to you from the Kalahari at the 2025 SWAT Conference. So pretty excited to be here. Matt, man, how you been?
Good, man.
Are you worn out yet?
I'm getting there.
Right. You're like, what day is it?
I got halfway through the floor already today, so we'll see. No, it's great, man. It's. I think we said it was already over last year as far as the numbers of attendees and all that. So it's just getting bigger and bigger. So it's great, man. People want to come and train, so it's good.
No, that is a good thing. I think it has a lot to do with now there's a stable foundation. It's here every year. There's dates already for the next 5 years already posted on the website and stuff like that. So I think that's good. So, man, these sexy gentlemen to my right, man, we got Sons back with us. This is what, the third or fourth year that we've done this podcast?
Yeah, I think this is the third year.
Third year? Yeah. So y'all came on board and really just said, hey, man, we want to do some shit with y'all. Let's do it. And here you are.
Yeah, no, we pushed all in. I mean, we've been to every tactical conference and stuff in the country, and TTPOA is the pinnacle. And we're like, this is also, we're Texas boys. We're like, all right, all in. We're going all in.
I like that. That means a lot to me. And we've talked about it over the years, just your passion and your desire and your work ethic of like, don't take really no for an answer, which is good. Sometimes that rubs people the wrong way, but oh well, get shit done.
Yeah. Well, we've met some lifelong friends here, man. This is fun.
Yeah. Well, good. So you got some new things in the pipeline going on. So who's this man to your right up here? Who is this guy, man? He just walks in, and now we're doing a podcast with him.
So this is the guy I think that is truly driving us into the future. This is my good friend and business partner, Nate Horvath, and I'll let Nate kind of explain where he's from and how he got here.
Okay. All right, man.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, guys, for having us. Good to be here. So let's see, for the past kind of 8 years or so prior to kind of joining up with Mike earlier this year, I was running a business called Staccato.
Okay.
Started there actually when it was STI.
Okay.
And led really the transformation, led the team that performed the transformation of STI into Staccato. And then the growth of Staccato from kind of where we started to where that business is today.
Yeah.
And it was an incredible ride, and got us really involved into the law enforcement community there. When I started with STI, we had maybe a couple of law enforcement departments.
Yeah.
And when I left, we had over 1,600 departments where Staccatos were approved for use. So appreciate this community very much, and I'm excited to be with another brand that is equally supportive of our nation's law enforcement and veteran communities and active duty military as well. So that's a little bit about kind of my background, Marine Corps infantry, and before I went to school and all that. But that's sort of ancient history at this point.
Yeah, I would definitely say I've been, I think, the region director for like 7 years now, somewhere around there. And from year one to now is who's carrying staccatos when they come in. There's times where there's more probably staccatos than probably Glocks sometimes, or half and half. And that was never like that. It was like one guy would show up and I was like, oh man, look at that. And then now it's so common, no one even says anything. So yeah, y'all did a good job of pushing that out there and selling that product and stuff. So
thank you.
So kudos to you. So, all right. So what brought you over to, like, what happened here, man? Was this a bet lost, or what happened here?
I'll give my version, and Mike can maybe give his. But like he said, we've known each other for a few years, have been friends. I've been shooting a son's rifle for a couple of years, and honestly, when Mike approached me about the opportunity, I couldn't have been more honored, number one, and more excited, number two, because son's mission to build really the world's ultimate fighting rifle resonates with me, and having firsthand experience with the product, and also seeing the success that Sons has had both in the law enforcement and in government markets with their products being tested extensively and winning against others, had me pretty excited about the opportunities in front of us. And so a lot of similarities to maybe back in the early days of Staccato, and but already with huge progress in the law enforcement market. So really, it's sort of the mission and philosophy resonated with me most. And then, I like Mike a lot as a partner and a teammate.
Thank you.
So I think
I got a few people.
We complement each other, I think, pretty well. And so we've been kind of kicking indoors already in the last month or two, and it's been great.
Yeah, I think that's would be important. Obviously, been in law enforcement, so I'm kind of forced to hang out or work with people that I didn't hire, or they're maybe not my friends and everything. But when you have your own business, I think that's so important to work with people that you get along with, that are the same kind of mindset, but also can challenge you. And there's something with like competition that's friendly and just someone having passion, and then two people going after something. I think that means a lot, and it's energizing. It's cool to see that and stuff. So
yeah. Having common goals, and then what was it? I think was it Warren Buffett, or he was talking about Elon Musk one time, and he says, like, don't ever bet against the guy who overestimates himself. And so so when people have handed me tasks that seemed impossible, I'm like, I'll do it. I can do it. And then talking with Nate, he's like, yeah, let's go do it. And that's really rare. Nate brings a ton of strengths to the table that I don't have, with like the true business acumen, some of the things, like a much more sophisticated vision of like business scalability, like how to do that while maintaining QC and maintaining that core ethos that we have. And then, as far as my technical knowledge on the rifles and kind of where we're driving into the future, needing help managing that. And then we have been successful in some DoD programs. We have been awarded some stuff that's pretty neat. I can't elaborate too much further. Having someone help manage some of this stuff is critical. So,
yeah, I would think too. You have a passion for, hey, I want to build guns. I want to do this.
Yeah.
But there's all this other shit that you have to do, and there's that learning curve, and there's really putting the right people in there, or you think you have the right people in there, and then like, oh shit, that wasn't the right person. And just I can't imagine that, like, what a huge undertaking that is, and it's all on your ass. It's all on your shoulders.
Well, yeah, getting from 0 to 1 is hard. Getting from 0 to anything is hard.
Yeah.
Then there's certain levels to where when you go from there to the next level, it's just you really need to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I can openly admit, on the business side, I just don't. And whenever Nate was interested in this, it's kind of like I always joke it's like getting the first round draft pick. I was like, really? You would come here?
No.
So, here we go.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So are you from Texas or not?
Unfortunately, I'm from California.
Oh, look how long it took you to say that, huh?
The long pause.
He knew that was not popular.
But have been, and then via there to Nevada, was in Nevada for about 10 years before moving out here for SDI. We bought SDI in 2016, and then I moved out here in 2018.
Okay.
I've been in Texas since then. So I'm trying to adopt a state, and hopefully the state's willing to have me.
Hey, California is not a location; it's a state of mind, right?
You don't have boots on, okay?
Nate is a Texan. He's a Texan.
You're not. I don't think you're Californian or Texas, so you're good. So you're about guns, so that's a good thing. No, it's so funny how many people we run into or talk with or know that are from California, and they're always like, I'm from California, but I'm not like those people and stuff like that. So it's always fun just to jab back and stuff like that. So even if you were the other side of California, I'd still welcome you and want to have a conversation with you. So I think that's kind of lost in the world too. Sometimes you're like, come on, let's talk about this ship and stuff. So I think that's good. So 2.0, Sons of Liberty 2.0 is coming out. What does that mean, man?
It's a lot. I mean, it's a kind of a, I'm not going to say like a rebirth of the brand, because I mean, we haven't really gone. If anything, there's an evolution of the product. There's an evolution of how we're approaching the market. There's an evolution of how we're interacting with clients. Nate coming on. We have Scott Peterson, who we just picked up as director of special programs. He just recently retired from the Army Marksmanship Unit.
Okay.
I think he's actually been teaching some TTPOA classes.
Yeah, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, I think he taught in Lubbock, and I think he was going to teach here. But, I mean, he's probably one of the scariest dudes you'll ever meet on a precision rifle.
Really?
I mean, that guy's an animal. But he's come in to help manage that. We got a guy named Chris Greenfield that's come in to help manage like the online, kind of retail side that we've, I think, abandoned. We want a better, more direct connection with our clients, whether it's law enforcement or the commercial market. And then to see how the brand itself, like the product, is evolving. Sons of Liberty's always been known for hyper reliable rifles. Yeah. There's no, even guys that might not like us won't say, well, I don't like them, but damn, their guns run. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Well, there's more to just a hyper reliable rifle. To make a truly good fighting rifle. And then you have form factors, weight, shootability, blah, blah, blah. And there's all these other things that were, like the Mark I project, forced us to really learn, adopt, and going forward, we are, I believe, making the best rifles in the industry at this point. I believe that, and there's actually some objective data to probably even support that. So that's a big part of 2.0. Nate, what else would you contribute to? Or what else do you think 2.0 is, man?
Yeah, no, Mike, I think you said it well. I think that, 2.0, and earlier you were talking about going from 0 to 1 and going from 0 to 1 and then from 1 to 10 and then from 10 to 100. Yeah. Each one of those steps in a company's growth and life cycle, there's a little bit of evolution that occurs for a company to continue to successfully scale and grow while maintaining authenticity to who you are as a brand and staying loyal to your customer base, the folks that have got you where you are. And so we're working really hard to be sure to hold on to who we are, but continue to evolve and meet the market's needs, and just get better every day. And I think 2.0 it's a demarcation, but honestly, what we're doing is every day working to get better. And that's really sort of a philosophy that Mike's held for a long time and that we'll continue to drive forward with. And so that's sort of how I think about it.
For that. Yeah. And another thing too, is that we're going to really double down and lean into who we are. I mean, for the last 8 years, we have not really discussed a lot of the professional work that we do. We just haven't. I mean, there are some times where it's it would be inappropriate to discuss some of the professional, out of etiquette or out of, hey, don't fucking talk about this. There are those programs too, but there are a lot of things that we can. And like, I don't think people have the slightest clue how many agencies and entities and just good guys across the country and now the world that we actually arm. And it's something that I don't know if it's been like because we've been modest or because we're just trying to have like that professional etiquette. But now at this point, as long as the entity's okay, like whether it's an agency or something global or whatever it is, like we want people to know what we've been up to. And I think a lot of people that follow us wouldn't be surprised, but I guarantee you there's some people that probably will,
Yeah.
So we're just going to lean into it. This is who we are, and we're proud to do it. And
and I think too is just like taking that next step or evolving into something else, but still maintaining the identity of who y'all are. Like, absolutely. I think if you lose that, then I don't really care what product you're putting out. It's like, man, that's just not who we are anymore. Once you lose the culture, that's a bad thing.
And that was one of the things that I loved about talking with Nate is like, I think what attracted him to our company in the first place was the culture. It is the culture. I mean, I got into this business building guns in my garage because I want to build good guns for good people, man. And our company motto is it's the arsenal of the Republic. and we're still very outspoken on those issues, and that's not something that again, we're leaning into that. We're stepping on the gas and telling that story.
Yeah. No, that's good. There's such a huge responsibility that you have, like, because now I'm selling to an agency. Okay, like this shit has to work. This has to, like, something breaks, we have to be able to get this. I mean, there's a huge responsibility that I know y'all take serious, but that means something to us as law enforcement when we know that's there and stuff. So I think that's a big thing.
From like the first year we came here, not even as the title sponsor, but the first year we came as just vendors, until now. I was downstairs hanging out with the crew at that little soiree we had. It was Born Primitive. Good people at Born Primitive, by the way.
Yeah.
To see
they have a nice looking marketing team too. They walk around.
I know. I noticed.
I was like, dang. I was like, man, jacked.
But from the first year we came till now, like the number of dudes that come up and like, come shake our hand, come talk to us and say, hey, we really appreciate what you did for the agency. We really appreciate this. And like, and I hear all these stories from all over, because TTPOA has agencies from all over the country here.
Yeah.
I mean, I think internationally several.
Yeah.
And what's neat is that to come up and hear these stories of stuff that our company did for them, stuff I might not even be aware of. Like this this is the company culture that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like whatever thing that they felt like we went out of our way to help them with didn't even rise to I even knowing about it. So that's just, so our entire team has that philosophy of like going above and beyond. And that's awesome. That's how you force multiply.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that I thought was really notable when I came on board and started it, and I took an armorer's course with Mike and saw the team, and one of the statements that Mike makes quite frequently, and I won't use the actual words. But
you can cuss on this show if you need to.
Well, it's the fucking thing has to work.
Yeah,
right.
No, you're right.
And that is what he said for many, many years.
Yeah.
And everybody believes that at the company, and they build the rifles that way.
Yeah.
Like first and foremost, this has to work.
Yeah.
Right. This piece of equipment, this life-saving piece of equipment, it has to work, all the time.
Yeah, right? Not most of the time.
Yeah, we got 80%. It's a B.
Yeah.
No, but that, I mean, when you say that this fucking thing has to work, like, I mean, that drives home.
Yeah, like that is it. The first and foremost, like, no, I don't care. Like the aesthetic, everything else. Even though we work every day to make it lighter, more shootable, more operate in even weirder conditions and environments, blah, blah. Ultimately, all of that is never at the expense of reliability, because, I mean, Fortunately, unfortunately, depends on how you look at it. I suppose if you're on the receiving end, it's been unfortunate. And if you're on the defending yourself, it's been quite fortunate. But, our rifles are used often.
Yeah.
For life-saving, community saving, community protection kind of stuff. And there's no compromise. Yeah. I mean, there's no trophy for second place, dude.
No, for sure. And there's so many brands and so many, and that space is huge. Like with just competitors, I can't imagine that. But you have to set yourself apart.
Well, I think truthfully, when you get down to it, there's a very, very short list of companies who are actually building performance-driven guns.
Yeah.
That are not. It's not about margin. It's not about, just simply, they're not just focused on growth. I mean, there's really a short list of companies. And what's cool is that as you get into some of these other spaces and you're being tasked with solving other problems for other entities, the list gets real short of who's forward thinking, who's thinking about what the future of weapons is going to look like. And I'll tell you this, the next couple of years is going to be very exciting in the small arms space. There is a renaissance going on right now in the lethality of what these platforms are going to be able to do. And like I said, I mean, maybe 4 companies in the entire space, I think, that are truly attacking that. Mm-hmm. We happen to be one of them. We're I'm proud to say that.
Yeah, that is. Maybe one day you'll work on a lightsaber or something. Because I'm fucking down for that one.
That would be pretty rad. That would be a cool attachment. that would be a pretty cool
when y'all get lightsabers, I am all on board with that one, man. So that's good. So another note on here, the MK1. What's that? Tell me about this.
Yeah, so the Mark 1 is our newest rifle that spent a couple of years developing and testing and validating, and that rifle was selected for some for a pretty prestigious thing, and we're very proud of that. But that's what I'm talking about, like rolling everything into like the form factor, like for the operator, little things like does something snag here? Can it be lighter? Does all of these things? The rifle at this point is the clip-on to the visual augmentation systems. Mm-hmm. So all of the other things you're adding to that weapon is a systems level approach to lethality. So if you're adding, whether it be the newer kind of lasers and enablers coming out, inline thermals, doing that kind of stuff, you put that rifle and those other systems together, and you have a it's pretty hard to fight against that, when you have that systems level approach. And the rifle was built and designed and engineered from the ground up to accommodate those new visual augmentation systems that are coming, and then also being very forward thinking on development of new ammunition type stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So the Mark 1 is that. It's a sub 6 pound rifle that shoots like a competition gun but plows through pretty much any adversity there is. That very demanding precision requirements, novel materials, novel approach to things. I mean, we went to private space companies to explore coding technologies and things like that on how to dissipate heat, where you can actually you can run that rifle hard, burn through an entire loadout without having to set it down on a suppressed rifle, which is pretty hard for keeping the rifle cooler longer. So think like real problems. There was not a real effort to address some of that stuff, I think, until fairly recently.
So is this gun out where we can buy it and everything?
Yeah, right now there's probably about 30, at least 30, maybe 40 T&Es out there around the country right now for different agencies that's open to the commercial market. There are multiple iterations of that rifle depending on what's most appropriate for you. Like there's all the way up to the most kind of cutting edge future thinking version of that gun, down to what is most appropriate for a serious armed citizen or SWAT officer or whatever. Okay. There's whatever your hierarchy of needs are. We've developed the Mark 1 is. I mean, the Mark 1 is is like a designator for a rifle, but it really is an entire suite of technology developed dependent on where that rifle might be fielded.
Okay.
It's a neat thing, dude.
Yeah, that's good. So who was that? Was that you? Like, hey, this is like, or how did that come about? You said it's a special project, or that's
yeah. So I mean, the Mark I started about 2 years ago, and I kind of fell off the planet. I wasn't super active on social, and I kind of threw myself into this one thing and just was able to rapidly fail. And that really was I would try this and fail, try this, fail, and being able to rapidly fail, you eventually start to weed out bad ideas, and good ideas start to become really evident and apparent, and then you're able to do that over and over and over again with every component. I mean, down to a spring, down to like some of the steels and stuff we're working on have never been fielded or used outside of the experimental space. And I mean, we destroyed a ton of shit trying to figure out how to make it work. So you go talk to a metallurgist who's a PhD in making, or inventing some kind of steel, but turning that steel into like something practically usable is outside of his wheelhouse. And so, and I had to kind of help figure some of that stuff out, and novel rifling and all this other kind of stuff. But when you crack the nut, you are into the next gen. The Mark I is truly, legitimately a next gen system
for that. Well, that's good. Well, there you go. Another feather in your cap to put in there and stuff.
I'm just happy to like reemerge from my cave. I'm like, oh wow, 2 years has gone by. What's happening?
Well, I remember a few years ago. I remember it was the first year we had the podcast with y'all. You were saying that when you're so busy selling guns, because it's such a profitable time frame, and that you don't have time to design new things because you're always trying to get shipment out. You're always doing, so you're just like, okay, we kind of need some stuff to slow down so we can get to, designing new things and stuff like that. So
that, or like in this case, it's changed my life. Honestly, it's changed the way I've learned more about rifles in the last 2 years than I have in the last 10. And this is coming from a guy who's taught thousands of armorers over the last couple of years.
Wow.
Right? And my approach to things now, the way I look at it, and what it came down to was someone legitimately asking to solve real problems, and those solutions, they do not exist. There's no textbook to go and study or refer back to, like, how do you fix this problem? Like, you're writing the book as you go. And so, like I said, being able to rapidly fail, and then luckily I had a supportive enough team that kind of let me go a bit apeshit on the development, experimental, destructive testing, stuff like that. And I was very fortunate to kind of have a team that was very supportive to handle all of the other important Sons of Liberty stuff, and chase this rabbit all the way down the hole.
Yeah.
So
good. Well, good. This one of the questions that just kind of popped in my head. So now there's a new administration in charge of the government. Has that helped with the firearms industry? Has that changed yet, or has there been anything that y'all have seen or anything like that?
I'll start this, and Nate obviously chime in on this too. Under the previous administration, there was a clear and open hostility to the firearms industry. Some of the zero tolerance, stupid policies from the ATF where there were FFL revocations for clerical stuff, like the wrong date format. Thousands of small businesses, like mom and pop shops, which is the backbone of an armed republic, right? Is the mom and pop gun shop. Yeah. A lot of those people suffered tremendously over like simple clerical stuff. There was no malicious intent. They're not trying to sell guns to the fucking cartel.
And you're trying to fill out a fucking government form.
Yeah,
like, it's not. They're not easy.
Yeah, and so it was openly and deliberately hostile to those people. Banking was like, I had to talk to the Senate Banking Committee not long ago, like specifically around like transactional things around guns, insurance issues, like just the entire structure of finance around the firearm industry, which really, luckily I have like the powerhouse sitting next to me to probably weigh into some of that. But that attitude has certainly been relaxed. There is different leadership at the ATF level. It does not feel as openly hostile. Now, have we seen it completely manifest into, what I hope the attitude is? Like, it's still a bit of a slow burn. I mean, I still think they're trying to figure out who's going to truly be leading that stuff, whatever. But if the ATF's job was to, regulate an industry for the purpose of like not intentionally selling guns to terrorists or something, like, okay, that sounds like it may be a worthwhile use of taxpayer dollars. That's not how they've been used. Yeah. That's not how they've been employed for many, many years. So that's been helpful. Yeah, you have Donald Trump's son, Trump Jr. That guy's an avid and legit shooter.
Yeah.
Like, he really is. I mean, that's not like a bullshit photo op. He's really into that stuff.
Yeah.
Tulsi Gabbard, is a friend of both of ours, Nate and myself. I mean, she shoots a Sons Liberty rifle in the TAC games. Shoots a staccato pistol. So I mean, like, that's kind of cool when your D&I is, a friend and customer of probably the two most outspoken gun companies in the industry.
Yeah, no, and you're right. And I love it. It's Texas leading the way. That's awesome.
So, no, there has been a sea change. Nate, what do you see coming, fan?
Yeah, I mean, everything that you said, Mike, I would agree with. I think the other thing, so administration from a regulatory perspective, it's a better environment. Where it's becoming a better environment on a daily basis. But what comes with that is we're still, as an industry, kind of coming off a peak, buying peak from the civil unrest that we had during the COVID timeframe. And so unless you're doing something that is differentiated and is providing customers with a compelling reason to buy, certainly on the civilian side, you're seeing kind of smaller numbers, right?
For that,
and so the overall industry is sort of down to flat. But there are outliers within that industry where companies are outperforming based on products that they're bringing to market, or within a specific market segment. With Sons in particular, the growth that we've had in law enforcement has continued to be exceptional, and I think we'll, based on what's in the pipeline, will continue to be. So you have some opportunities to continue to grow your business, but you've got to be bringing product to market that means something, that is differentiated. To your point earlier, I don't know if there's 50 AR companies or more, but to Mike's valid point, there are a lot that are, producing what I would call a commodity product
for that. Yeah.
And to survive in this type of an industry market, you've got to differentiate yourself, which is what we're doing.
Yeah. And not just in y'all's industry, there's so many different industries from, 2020, 2021. There was like just peak of just fucking, we're on the gas and we're making money. And then that's not the case in the last year and a half. And so it's been for all kinds of companies that I see, it's just not, just guns and things like that. So, but like you said, it's kind of a catch-22. You're like, well, we have more civil unrest, we sell more, but we don't really want that either because we fucking got to live in this shit.
Hey, dude. So this is a joke that we make. I mean, and I'm sure anybody in the industry kind of knows exactly what I'm talking about. Like, if the election would have gone a different way, gun sales would be at record highs.
Yeah.
But, there is the chance that, like, the gun industry would be fundamentally over. In like 5 years, with like a couple of Supreme Court, nominations, with like the enhancement of Operation Choke Point, with cutting off funding, blah blah blah. Like, I would much rather take a commercial slowdown, and then preserve our way of life generationally, than to try to cash in the short run, and then this place turns to shit in a couple of years. I'll take this any day, man. And then brands like ours, Sons of Liberty, is insulated. We don't see the same level of slowdown like your commodity brands see. And then in the work that we're doing for in other spaces, Sons of Liberty is kind of we're on a very different trajectory. Part of why Nate's here is to help manage that dog chasing the truck, you know, like what happens when you catch it. Well, all right, we're about to find out. You know?
I love a good old country dog that'll chase damn cars. Like that's always a good thing. But yeah, the whole just thought process of just what you just said of, man, I got to live in this, but also this is my business. But man, every day I got to deal with this, you know, if we had a crazy administration that just, you know, what that could have been. Yeah, well, that is scary.
Let me ask you from your perspective, from the law enforcement side. I mean, like, we work with, you know, hundreds of agencies, you know, every month, you know, in some form or capacity or something. There definitely seems to be a true morale shift, you know, like there is, you know, like, how do you see it? I mean, like, morale was quite bad.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, for 2020, 2021, I mean, I know guys that were counting the guys that had planned to stay on till 30, you know, were counting the damn minutes to 20, you know, like it doesn't feel like that anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. That's.
Don't open a can of worms.
Yeah. I don't know for me personally I don't know. I did think about that. What do you think on for you? Because there's so many, I just think there's so many for us. Like I've been through Bush, Obama, Trump, Biden. I think all those presidencies I've been. So in 98 to now, when Trump first took office, that was the biggest shift I ever saw that a president actually made in law enforcement with grants and really being proactive. And then all of a sudden fucking 2020 hits and then we just get kicked in the stomach. Yep. And so there's all that, like you just said, and then all of a sudden even more leaders, quote leaders, I say that really loosely, in police work are leading by fear. Yep. They haven't changed yet. Right. But you got someone in the country that's like, fuck this. We're not being led by fear. So I don't think it's caught up yet. Right. I haven't seen that yet, but that's kind of my perspective on it. No, I don't know. That's a deep question.
No, that makes perfect sense. What's awesome to me, what's encouraging, perhaps it's not necessarily like a Trump thing, but the fact that the country overwhelmingly, the people stood up, and the fact that he won every swing state, he won every state that needed a fucking ID to vote.
Yes.
You know, he won the popular vote, right? And not to necessarily make this political, this isn't about Trump. The country, the people have rejected bad ideas. One of the top bad ideas they rejected was defund.
Yes.
You know, and like the people have spoken on, you know, what they want society to look like, and it's not a neutered police force, dude. Right. You know what I mean? So that, to me, I hope is resonating, and people feel like I hope officers feel the appreciation of like what the country overwhelmingly stood up and fucking said.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, even if it hasn't made it down to like the individual agency leadership sector yet, the people spoke.
Yeah. And I think that's good to hear from like you, because sometimes I can get cynical about all that because I've been doing it for so long. I'm like, but it's good to have an outside perspective that's still involved in the law enforcement, but not in law enforcement, but deals with us all the time. So that's a good, it helps me being able to balance this out sometimes.
Well, I'm optimistic, man. It's going to be interesting to see what the next couple of years look like, but I promise you it's better than the alternative. I guarantee you that.
Yeah. No. What were you going to say, Matt?
Well, you go back to 2016 when everybody thought that Hillary had a really good chance, and the gun sales exploded. You know, and because everybody thought that she was going to win, and they was going to get clamped down. Okay, these are not bad guys buying guns. These are responsible citizens. They're doing it the right way, and they were setting records. And Trump wins. You come in. You have 4 years of, regardless if you agree with him or not, you had some sustainability, and when of course COVID happened and all that. Yeah. But it wasn't like all of a sudden, the respectable gun owners, the ones that are trying to do it the right way, feared that their liberties were going to be infringed upon. Okay, so they were confident in all that, and it leveled off to a little bit. And then 2020 happened, and then you start all over again, and people panic. And it's not to say they panic because they feel like, and people say, well, civil unrest and all this, but what happened is that people wanted to exercise their Second Amendment right to purchase firearms. Okay, it is your right to do that as an American citizen. You should not be infringed. It's not supposed to be infringed upon. And it was a referendum on what they were marching on, saying, I didn't believe in this. And it's very clear with the Democrats, and with, not trying to be political, but with Hillary and even with Biden has said, they're all on attack on that. Okay, so again, it wasn't that police, and I get asked this a lot, what do you think about the crime bills, or what do you think about this? I'm like, look, I am not worried as a police officer as a whole, worried about responsible gun owners that are doing it the right way. Okay, I'm not. Is there times out there where they go, they lose it and do all that? Yes. But you know how many guns we recover in Dallas every day? As a year, as Dallas, what? A lot. All the time. They're stolen out of Garland or Irving, or we've had them out of California, whatever. We had a guy that got caught with a stolen gun that was used in a murder in California that Nibbin picked up on, and they hit back, and they were wanting to know who we found it with and all that. So those things travel. So police, in my mind, I'm not worried about the responsible people that are doing it the right way. Okay, do you think that people are going to, exercise their right and go bad? It can happen. Okay, more people get killed by drunk driving. Okay, I don't hear them trying to limit the amount of Toyotas that we're bringing in or whatever. So like this. So I hate when people try to make that correlation that you're producing firearms, therefore you're attributing to the crime rate. Like, I'm sorry, that you put any gun down on this table and just leave it here, it will not hurt anybody. It is a man-made problem. It is not a gun-made problem. Does that make sense? So I think a lot of people try to correlate that because it's an easy. Gun control is easy to draw people off sides. People want to do that, and no matter whether you make rifles, pistols, whatever, ammunition, they've been under attack for the last 20 years. Okay, right? They have been. You had a little bit of brief time in between different administrations, but it's not going to go away. I mean, they're always going to fight y'all. Y'all know that. And you just, if you're going to be in this business, you got to realize that's a long haul. It's going to be that way for a long time. Right?
It's kind of funny, maybe not in a ha-ha way, but a bit ironic. So the Bruin case, the Bruin decision was a big deal, and it was, looking at the courts were instructed, at the lower courts were instructed to look at gun legislation or just gun rulings in the historical context, right? How guns were historically regulated, like from the founders, and now whenever you have people arguing for gun restrictions, they're having to look for the historical context and how to do that, and they're literally having to cite like the most racist and oppressive like precedent. Yeah, because the gun like gun storage laws, for instance, like gun storage laws were legitimately written so Native Americans and blacks could not acquire guns. And so now when you apply Bruin to this, and we're arguing that gun storage laws should not necessarily be enforced in this way, the people arguing that they should are having to reference the historical context of why gun storage laws ever existed in the first place. And I think it takes some giant balls. To cite that, to cite it's technically okay because in 1842, I'm like, bro, the balls on you.
Man. Yeah, that's interesting what these politicians or these activists will do because it's a gun. It's
so easy to draw people off sides. You say gun control, and then right down the table it splits. And you're not going to bring those people back.
The good news is, man, during COVID, during the George Floyd bullshit, and during COVID, I sold guns to Moms Demand Action. Legitimately that this is true, because I had been on debate stages with them. We'd go to universities and have these conversations and stuff. In the green room when you're done, fighting, you know, on stage. You talk about soccer and kids and, you know, shit like that. I was the only gun guy they knew. And so whenever like COVID happened and they thought that there was going to be a huge decrease in emergency services and, you know, like they wanted to defend their toilet paper roll, I was the only gun guy they knew. And so they're like, Mike, when I want to buy a gun, and like no one asked me for the gun that held the least amount of bullets. Like no one was like, do you have something with like a real low magazine capacity? You know, like,
a musket?
No. Yeah. Do you have a flintlock? Like, and so I was like, yeah, man, you know. And,
I would just say when it became real for them,
exactly.
And for some people, you know, that was, you know, for my generation, never had lived through anything like that, like COVID. That was all new. Yeah. So it became real for a lot of people that, like, I'm not prepared in whatever manner they would feel like their level of response should be. They're not prepared for it. Yeah. And so then what was one of their first inclinations? I need a firearm.
Yeah, I'm not going to be the only one on my cul-de-sac without one, dude.
Yeah,
you know, like,
you're right.
And I was like, I promise you, I will not be the one that runs out of bullets first.
Yeah,
you know?
no.
And so, when it comes down to survivability, like you want to survive, you want to live, you want to take care of your family, it's amazing where they'll cross over party lines or they'll
100%.
Or like you said, they're like trying to whisper to you, I want to buy a gun. Because it's like there's some kind of shame to it. But that was not going on here in Texas as a whole. So
even currently, right now, the fastest growing demographic of gun owners are people that have historically been anti-gun. Mm-hmm. You know, whatever demographic you might picture that is historically kind of anti-gun, that is the fastest growing demographic of gun buyers right now, which is fine, because what you end up seeing is this loss of enthusiasm to oppose you. Gun control is really, I think, kind of a manufactured topic at this point. Much like, you know, I have some pretty hardcore left-leaning friends. My wife and I had dinner with a couple that, you know, still wear a mask, you know, right? Yeah. And you know, and being that I have like virtually no shame, I'll ask them like, you know, questions like, how do you feel about a man boxing a woman? You know, and like, I've never met anyone that's like, that's a good idea. Like, that's a completely manufactured cause.
Yes.
Like, that's not like a grassroots kind of cause, right?
Yeah.
I believe that neither is gun control at this point. I don't think, like, if you were to ask the top 10 most important issues to a Democratic voter, guns is not in that.
Yeah.
So, you know, anyways.
just to tag on, I mean, I think one of the things that's great about this industry and about what we're doing is that it's not political. You know, right? We are building world's best shooting rifles for every American. And, you know, I don't care what color that American is, what gender that American is, what gender they think they are or want to claim. It doesn't matter to me. They're, as Americans, as long as they're legally and acquiring the firearm and they're responsible gun owners, that's their right. That is a constitutional freedom. That's a beauty of being an American and living in America. And I think that's one of the best things that we do as this industry. And I think people don't necessarily realize it, but the folks who are in this industry, we're out there to help people protect their liberties, protect their families.
I think the quickest way to get somebody to do something is tell them not to do it. Mm-hmm. You know, like your kids, you know, don't do that. That's the first thing they do. And when you are a grown, you know, adult that's responsible, that's making your own way, you're not going to allow people come in there and push on you. And what's happened is I think COVID really just changed the whole deck, and it
woke a lot of people.
It did a lot of people up, and whether they wanted to admit it or not, they had to look back and go, the way I was rolling is not going to work now. Yep. And things have changed. And it's on a lot of fronts, not just guns. It's a lot of fronts. And now that everything's kind of come full circle, there you go. I do not feel like I had the same protections or the stability that I had before for whatever reason. And again, it was that primal, you know, thought was I need to be able to take care of myself. And we as a society have moved to mechanical, you know, weapons to do that versus, you know, a spear or, you know, or axe or something like that. And so what it is, so that's why you see that. I think that's a lot of it.
And just what Nate said is true though. Like, you know, we fundamentally as like Americans and people who take the Constitution very, very seriously, we defend speech, even though speech we don't like. Yeah. Like, that is it's the first one for a reason. The guns, I believe in an American citizen's right to own a gun regardless of your politics. That is if you're going to be it's best to play it straight down the middle. Like, this is what the founder's intent was, and I think if you have, it's probably best to not deviate from that. So
those that they're trying to suppress or trying to influence your way are usually not going to line up on your side. Yeah, and there's a reason for that they're doing that. So,
well, I think just having a conversation, like you said, of asking, well, what do you think about this topic? What do you think about this topic? That's, to me, that's how you influence people. That's how you build common ground and things like that. That's why someone would reach out to you and go, hey, Mike, I need a gun, because there was some common ground. They saw, oh, you know what? Yeah, he's a gun dude, but there's more to it than just being, quote, a gun dude.
Yeah, he's a parent. He's a human.
Yeah.
But the other thing, too, is people also get, I think, very hyper-focused on social media being some type of legitimate sounding board, and it's not.
Geez.
If you sit at an airport bar and talk to the guy next to you, you have no idea what his background or whatever is, but you could probably get through a pretty friendly conversation, and that's kind of how the real world operates, right? If everybody had to have these conversations in person, it'd be a lot more civil than the anonymous commenter on X or something.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. Well, traveling around the country as y'all do, as I as well, a lot of people ask about Texas. Like, to them, we look like the Wild Wild West, and they want to know. Like, they just think everybody wears a 6-gun and on the holster. It's like, because they see us differently than a lot of other states. Just because of the way it's an attitude, it's the way we do business, the way we do things, and whether the manufacturer's here or not, Texans have their guns, and you hear a lot of stuff about like Texas would never be invaded, because we don't need anybody else, whether we do or not. The point is the well-regulated militia, you have a well-armed citizenry. I think that matters here. It is deep in our roots. From being our own republic at one time, before Texas and everything like that. And I just think people here they appreciate that, and it's just rooted in what we do.
No, because just that whole Texans have that just attitude of we're our own country. Like, that means something. Like, we're Texas. Like, that just means something. And like, you go out to the rural parts, once you get out of these big cities, you go to these small towns, and there's still guys riding around with pickup trucks with gun racks, and I'm like, that's fucking America.
I know guys that are ready right now to go. They're ready for an invasion. They're stacked up, mags ready to go, 4-wheel drive. They're like, they've been waiting for years. They are ready. So bring it on. They want to go do that.
Yeah, I mean, and to me, it's like I love that. I mean, that's the way I was raised and stuff. But I love going to a small town Dairy Queen and seeing the guys in there, and there's boots and jeans, and that's their truck, and there's the rack and the gun and stuff, and that's just life. But I mean, you go to these parts of Texas, if you don't have a gun, I don't know what you do, because if trouble is coming to your house, no one is around in these counties. I mean, no one is. Yeah. It's crazy to me. I'm like, so people lose sight of that live in Philadelphia that are wanting guns banned. You're like, wait a minute. Go out to West Texas or South Texas and see how fast we are getting there.
Response time is like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And Loving, Texas, there's a lizard in a tumbleweed. You better have a rifle.
Yeah. Or like, I teach out in New Mexico. There is nothing in south part of New Mexico. Shit, man. It's it's just, and that's where people lose it for me. I'm like, man, everybody has their own situation that they're having to deal with because of whatever environment they're in and stuff. So, but no, I think y'all do a good job of being able to balance that and be able to confront some hard topics and not shy away from them and stuff. Because at the end of the day, y'all don't want to see your weapon used in some type of incident. I mean, no gun maker does. But like you said, Matt, it wasn't the gun; it was the person that was behind that gun that was doing the damage. And stuff. So.
Well, think back to New Orleans, New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
that crazy guy driving down. He was in a Ford pickup truck.
Yeah,
are we going to go after Ford because they built that truck? No. It was not their intent.
No.
But it is an easy way to draw people off sides. Guns, because there are people that hire on with us. They've never fired a firearm until they in the academy.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that, but to me, that living here my whole life, that's just unimaginable.
Yeah,
but for some people that is. So you're dealing with people that have no context, no experience with a firearm, because all they've been told are dangerous, they're bad. Like, I can put my Glock right here and nobody ever touches it. It'll never hurt him.
No.
I think Texas does have a bit of an advantage there, like specifically for law enforcement. Like by the time a lot of guys, I mean, not all, right? Not all, but like most folks, by the time they get there, it's like to an academy or they get to someplace where, like, firearms are not completely unfamiliar to them. I'm not saying this is true across the board. I'm saying, but if you take like the averages, I have worked in states where, firearms ownership, unfortunately, has been generationally lost. You're 3 and 4 generations from when firearms were like part of the culture.
Yeah.
And you can clearly see the aptitude for use of firearms very, very low. To where, it's concerning.
Yeah.
And I you don't typically see that here. I mean, you talk about seeing a suppressed rifle in some places that have never heard it or seen it or whatever. Here, like your uncle's got 10 of them. This is, like, it's not, but it does have an impact. If you, again, this is what is so important. If once you have generationally lost that, I think it's virtually impossible to get it back, because you don't even remember what it was like when it was a part of your culture.
Yeah.
So, I mean, thank God for Texas on that. I think that it makes a bit of a difference.
Yeah. I mean, it means something for your great granddad's shotgun or his deer rifle or something that's passed down.
Oh yeah, it's heirlooms. Dude.
I mean, those are special things, or his pistol that he had in the Army, or whatever the case may be. I mean, that's a special thing to have, and that's a good thing. Like, I mean, it goes back to even getting your gun back from an OIS. Like, that means something. Like, that's a special thing, and that's okay. You're not loony. You're not weird. Like, that's the tool that did the job that you needed to have in that day.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and like I said, we our policy on that stuff. You know how we know what we do. We talked about it last time, and yeah, I mean, that's as true or more true today than it's ever been, at least the way we look at that. And yeah, it's a tool. It's a fire extinguisher. I'd certainly not want to be the guy that needed one and didn't have it.
I think a lot of people, not probably listeners to this podcast, but the general population, they don't understand that if an officer's in an officer involved shooting, that they're going to lose that weapon.
Yeah. And
they're not going to have it. And guess what? The department doesn't have a whole bunch of spares sitting around. And so for most, unless someone else is stepping up, this officer doesn't have a patrol rifle.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's one of the things that Mike and the Suns team have been doing for a while, is just making sure that, since day one, if your rifle's gone, you're getting another one from us. Well, with everything you had on it, suppressor, optic, etc.
Yeah. Or even go back to just the guy who his department doesn't cover that for him, but he worked his ass off doing some part-time jobs to get this rifle.
Individual purchase.
And he bought it, and then like, oh, fuck, man, like, what? I don't get this gun back. Or like, it's gone for me. What am I? I don't have this money to go back and replace that. I mean,
traveling around the country teaching those classes, seeing some of the stuff that dudes would bring to class to, that's their patrol rifle. I'm like, what in the fuck were you thinking? He's like, well, I'm gonna use it. I might have to lose it. I'm like, that's a terrible reason. Like, all right, we'll fix that. Like, so
I bought it on Amazon. Pieced it together of the cheapest parts I could find.
I will tell you, man, we do pull. I mean, I see shit all the time in all the places I travel. We pull airsoft parts off of guns all the time, man. If you find like a really nice, quality branded charging handle and it's $8, man, you might want to ask why. Or when your Magpul sights melt to the gun, I'm like, I bet you those weren't real.
That was the real polymer. and stuff. So no, that's good. So how many LE like agencies are y'all with now? Do y'all even have that number or?
It's in the hundreds, but
north of 300.
Yeah, it's north of 300. I mean, but that's like actually the agency having issued like a purchase order
official
on letterhead, And then as far as where we're approved, I mean, it's obviously significantly more than that. But I mean, at this point, where we are one of these, we are becoming. Because we are becoming one of like the kind of staple, kind of go-to brands that. That's going to be considered by an agency that gives a shit. Now, granted, dude, if a department is looking for $500 rifles, unfortunately, like we don't
not the people to call.
We don't build that gun.
Yeah,
I mean, like it's not because we're like arbitrarily trying to the right materials cost more money. The right level of give a shit costs more money. Like the right techniques, the right test fire, rejection rates, blah, blah, blah. So, but if an agency, like, and their leadership and if they give a shit and there's going to be budget for quality equipment, I guarantee you we're on the short list of someone they're going to be looking at. And interestingly enough, and we found this, this was kind of a bit of a wake-up call. It's part of how we're going to market different in 2.0 for part of the 2.0 initiative. We're actually much better known in the professional space than we are in the like commercial space. What's amazing is that if you're a serious end user in the military, or you're a SWAT officer, or you're someone who takes that craft very seriously, and you look at weapons as like the right kind of tool, believe it or not, the percentage of people that we're known by those people is significantly higher than like the general gun buying public, which is typically not the case. Usually it's kind of the inverse. So we want to reach out and actually really go out to market and start talking more to the general consumers and getting our name out there. But if your agency cares and they're looking for good quality equipment, there's a pretty short list of companies that they're going to be looking at, and we are becoming like one of the Let's call those dudes, and that's awesome. I'm happy to hear that.
Now, are y'all making y'all's own triggers for that, or are y'all using someone else's triggers?
We have a 2-stage trigger that we've developed that is very, very good. And again, my philosophy on how to build a fighting weapon, one of the 4 pillars of reliability is a heavy hammer strike to ensure primary detonation, right? Yeah. And so we wanted to make a good work trigger that was fast, had a good, clean, positive, fast reset, but also a very heavy hammer strike. We have a trigger for that, and like honestly, we're working to develop kind of like the next gen version of that right now, because again, like Nate was saying, getting better every day, evolving, and then you get end user operator feedback, and you take that seriously. Like, I mean, I don't take the feedback from Instagram, like from whoever, some anonymous whatever account, like it's I don't know about that. Yeah. But like when you have someone who's competent saying like, hey man, it would be really cool is like this for this reason, like okay, let's call the engineers. Yeah. let's see what we can do.
That makes sense. Some of these people on the internet, I'm like, dude, shut up. Like
it doesn't it doesn't bother. I mean, we get a ton of love. It's a ton of or whatever. I mean, that is not indicative of who the what the market looks like. The internet's kind of a toxic place,
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, law enforcement officers and departments are generally not providing us their feedback via Instagram.
No.
Or the DOD or anybody else, right?
The jack me off _4968, who that dude, like.
Well, I think if you carry the gun and you need it on a professional level and there's a problem, and look, with any company there can be, you're going to reach back out to them and go, hey, I need this. This is the issue. Going through Instagram is not going to fix your problems. No. So whether it be the site, the light, or the weapon itself, you're going to call that manufacturer or your rep, whoever it is, and go, hey, I had this problem. Yeah. We're hard on gear. It happens. You just reach out. So, I don't think it's going to be through Instagram.
No. and I think those departments that are, hey, we have y'all's guns, and we have, we bought 200 of them, whatever the case may be. There is a relationship that they now with y'all. Hey, Mike, we have this, or Nate, dude, this is happening with us, or hey, we're looking in. Can we do this with this gun? I mean, there's a personal, there's a bond of we're the seller, you're the buyer, but we also want a partnership with this.
Yeah, it's not transactional for us. This isn't like a purchase and then you go on down the road. Like this, it's a relationship, and we foster that. And I will say the thing that I'm most proud about our company is I know this because we've never really had like a true marketing budget, and we've never really had that stuff. We have grown through word of mouth, through peer-to-peer recommendation, and that is by far the most validating thing that you can have. And then normally when we land into an area, we land a county or a city or a state or something that we're working with, you can just see the ripple effect, and we end up usually taking over that geographic region through peer-to-peer recommendation, and that is by far. You cannot replicate that with any brochure, dude. No. You just can't.
No. That's honestly, it's the best. I mean, that is the best way to go to market in the law enforcement space, because cops don't trust anybody. They definitely don't trust a sales guy. Yeah. And so, they need to see it, right? Experience it and hear it from the colleagues and the agencies that they do trust. Yeah. And then even then they're going to test it themselves.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? Yeah. And it helps walking in with that cool ass shirt. That's always a staple, man. That's my favorite shirt of all the vendors and companies out there. That's just a badass design.
Yeah, that's what's out there, man. A lot of them probably, I think for like some of the stuff we're doing, like the stripes on the rifles, it's like, it's clean. It's on brand. It is the battle flag of the original Sons of Liberty. Historically, it means the things that we all believe in. The thing that the concepts and like the things we all, I think, hold most dear. The foundation of the country, the principles. That's what it means. Yeah. So that's I think people can be proud of that.
Yeah, no, for sure. What Matt didn't realize is that the Sons of Liberty, we're going to have our own podcast rifle that they're going to, endorse us with. You didn't know that. We're just
unaware of that.
That's right. And if you're the 12th caller, Mark.
Official TTPOA podcast rifle. So, all right. So what's in the future? What do y'all have that you're like, we can't talk about, but we can kind of tease it, a little fluff job, or what's this time next year when you come back with us? What's going to be out there?
Well, Nate, you got anything you have any plans?
He's like, wait a minute.
No,
we told we weren't going to talk about this.
Yeah, Mike, that's all you, brother.
No, so we are rapidly and meaningfully developing a lot of new tech. The brand is going through a bit of a tech refresh right now. Again, some of the stuff we learned on the Mark I project is going to trickle down into a lot of the other systems that we build, and then you're going to see like meaningful but incremental improvements across all of that, like standardization of the A5 across everything that we do. Like that's something we're implementing right now. We're leading we're in the driver's seat right now, or we're at the very cutting edge of like new barrel tech that's happening, and it's part of like the Renaissance period I talked about for the industry where things are going. We're at the front of that. You're going to start seeing that stuff come out, and like I said, the Mark I was it's a rifle designator right now, but it was a suite of technology developed, for a lot of different things. So you might see Mark I's in different calibers. You might see Mark I's very tailored for specific type of, mission requirements. Okay. Looking at stuff like that. Reapproaching how we're looking at precision rifles, looking at some of the like heavier guns. I mean, I honestly think that if I'm not going to let too much out of the bag, so I have to be careful. But the way we're looking at your precision gas guns at this point, and I'm talking like a complete rethinking of how that rifle operates and what we're expecting it to do. I mean, for medium range gas gun work or medium range target engagement, you're almost rendering the bolt gun obsolete if you look at what can really be achieved. Once you start attacking those problems, very deliberately. So there's some neat stuff coming. I mean, I hope people are following. Like, by the way, I forgot to mention this. Part of 2.0 is that we're actually putting some real effort finally into explaining the program, the projects we're working on, the technology, the some of the new things we're doing. So I would tell people, like, we have neglected YouTube for years and years. Go to YouTube and actually start. That's where we're able to go into depth on like the why, and then really explain this stuff. And for the folks that are interested, then it'll make sense to them pretty quick. What we're doing and like what the future's going to look like. It's exciting stuff, dude.
Good. Well, I know we all will knock it out of the park, and next time when we come back to this, there'll be some exciting things that y'all will be able to talk about that y'all put out this year and stuff.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm very grateful, man. Once again, every year for letting us be a part of this. It's to us, it's an honor to support TTPOA. It is the hometown, Texas. It's and the friendships and the relationships and the business that we do here is huge, and I'm again, thanks for letting us be a part of it, dude.
Yes, sir. Well, we couldn't do it without you. Truly, we couldn't do it without our sponsors and stuff. So we truly thank you for that. So I know Matt and I's paycheck that we get every week is just it's amazing. It has so many zeros and no ones.
Mine's lost in the mail.
I was like, man,
I have to remind. I'm going to be careful because, we try not to. Nate and myself, try not to make any kind of interesting demands or requests because, we know, this is a true volunteer force. You're here because you love what you do. You believe in what you do. Nobody's here to cash in on something, dude. No. This is really to help people become better at their craft.
No, just to add to that, I mean, because it's not said enough. I mean, we truly believe that what y'all do, what every law enforcement officer does, is truly the hardest job in the world. I mean, it truly is. What you all do every single day. Cannot thank you enough for it. We're privileged to be able to help support in a small way, and we take it very seriously. That what we do is to provide you with equipment, life-saving equipment that will not fail. Because you guys got too many other things to do to worry about that. Thank you for that and what y'all do and what your audience does every day.
No, thank you. Like I said, even going back to that, it's a partnership. We got to have the equipment. We got to have reliable equipment, good equipment. And so,
I appreciate it. And just like any business, the ones that are good at it is their passion for it. And so whether you're making things or you're, for like Brandon and I, when you're in law enforcement, not to say that I'm the best or anything, but you try to be really good at your job and you have a passion for it. And so that is, that's because you're not doing it for the money. We're not doing it. We're not doing it because of recognition or glory and like that. You do it because you think it matters. And when you do it because you think it matters, you're just going to put a good product out there. So that's what I believe in.
There's an easier way to earn $1 than what either of us all do.
You have
to kind of really, really believe in it.
I know. In my career after law enforcement, I need to do something that actually makes me really good money. But I don't have any skills to do that. So I'm like, shit, I'm stuck here. So I'm like, man,
forever broke.
Yeah. All right. So, all right. Well, it was always a pleasure to sit down and talk with you, Nate. It was good meeting you. And stuff.
Absolutely.
So, man, y'all have a kick-ass conference, and we'll look forward to seeing you around. So, all right, y'all train hard and stay safe out there, guys.